there's a feud between Kyle Rittenhouse and Lin Wood, who was the original counsel to Kyle Rittenhouse until Kyle Rittenhouse and his family realized that Lin Wood and his colleague John Pierce were probably grifters who were just looking to fundraise off of Kyle Rittenhouse and the whole issue that he was involved in. Now, just to backtrack, I just want to remind you all of what Rittenhouse said about Lin Wood and how now it's leading to grief among QAnoners in regard to how they should react to Lin Wood. Let's watch.
Lin Wood and John Pierce on August 27th became counsel, and they started raising money, and they raised over $2 million before September 5th of 2020, and they wanted to fight extradition with a militia argument, which I didn't even know what a militia was until November 20th when I got bailed out. But they went on to say that I was in an unorganized militia, which is just not true. And they didn't respect my wishes, and they kept me away from my family for 87 days. And I thank them for raising the money, but I could have been bailed out a lot sooner in September if they hadn't kept me in jail.
Now, these accusations by Rittenhouse toward Lin Wood has led to a division among QAnon conspiracy theorists, some of whom still support Lin Wood, others who are like, I don't know, we love Rittenhouse. Should we believe Rittenhouse? Should we stay true to Lin Wood? We don't know what to do. And we're gonna get to those details in just a second, because that's the heart of the story and the most amusing and entertaining part. But before we do, Lin Wood did respond to these accusations by Rittenhouse. Wood, who has discounted Rittenhouse's complaints, told News Nation that he can't simply hand over the money to Rittenhouse because it was raised as part of the charity he established, the Fight Back Foundation, and he must comply with tax law. Now, let me just note that this is not an honest individual. He's very much perpetuating the lie that the election was stolen from Donald Trump. He's a complete maniac, but he also says that he is open to using funds to help pay Rittenhouse's defense bills, but would also claim that his organization spent $2.7 million on Rittenhouse's defense before the teen signed on with new attorneys. Take that with a grain of salt. No. But Cenk, the best part about all of this is that conspiracy theorists don't know what to do with this new information. Some have turned their backs on Lin Wood. Others have decided to turn their backs on Rittenhouse. I'll give you some examples in just a minute, but why don't you jump in first?
Yeah, don't take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a boulder of salt, a mountain of salt. You should believe nothing that Lin Wood says, especially that comical statement. I'm open to giving the $2 million I raised for his defense. Yeah, you should be very open to that, because that's what you said you were gonna give it to. You're an unbelievable grifter and a lunatic at the same time. And he says, oh, by the way, I already spent $2.7 million when I was briefly his counsel on legal fees. Get out of town. Total lie, utter lie.
So then all of a sudden, Lin Wood is like panicking and trying to figure out, like, how can I one up Rittenhouse with even more lunacy and more conspiracy theories? So now he's claiming that Stop the Steal. I mean, I feel like he was pretty much involved with that campaign, alleging voter fraud in the presidential election is a concoction of the deep state. This is what he said on Telegram. After doing the research and connecting the dots, says Lin Wood, I have reached the conclusion that the Stop the Steal organization is a deep state organization to raise money for purposes other than to fix 2020. Watch out for anyone affiliated with Stop the Steal. Every lie will be revealed. And so he turned his back on Sidney Powell and others because he feels like they didn't do an adequate job in defending him against the allegations lodged against him by Rittenhouse. And then you go to the QAnon influencers and what they're saying. QAnon influencer John Sable, better known as QAnon John, posted a message to his more than 70,000 Telegram subscribers writing, quote, not too smart to crap where you sleep, Kyle. So don't worry, rest assured, Lin Wood, QAnon John is still on your side. Then you have another person who wrote, "People wake the F up. This is audio of him lying. They're in an interview of Kyle's mom." I don't know what that means. "You all should listen. Who would want to be in jail for 86 days? This used plus Kyle is Noah from Sandy Hook, same nose." Okay, great. We really need to heavily fund and expand mental health care in this country. And I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm saying it because people are struggling, okay? And I think this story is one example of that.
Yeah, there's a couple angles here. So number one, this is Grift 101. The reason why he's speaking out against Stop the Steal, while he, according to Rittenhouse, seems to have stolen from Rittenhouse. So I guess maybe you could call that start to steal, is because what grifters do now, and you'll see it on the right nonstop, but now there's people pretending to be on the left that do the same grift, which is, I'm the only one you can trust. I'm the only one you should send money to. So I don't know what his financial connections to Stop the Steal were or are, but I can guarantee you now, he's not getting any money from Stop the Steal. If he was getting money from Stop the Steal, he would never tell you to stop giving money to them, right? The new defense attorneys for Kyle Rittenhouse, according to Lin Wood, well, I don't know about them. I don't know that they should get any money, but me, I should get all the money because I'm the only one you can trust, okay? Grift 101. And so, and to what degree is he just a con man? And they're all con men. Every one of, there's no honor among thieves. They're all fighting now, right? But to what degree is it a con, and what degree is it that they have very much significant mental health issues? I think the answer is people love to say this like it's a cute thing to say online. The answer is both, but in this case, it really is both. And then, no joke about the mental health counseling for the followers. You try to understand what they're saying. They're not at all connected to the reality-based world. I mean, they've lost connection with reality, and their family members have to help them before they hurt themselves.
Yeah, look, honestly, it's actually really sad, and that's why I really want to reiterate. I don't mention the mental health care as an insult. I mention it because, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. The fact that people buy into these conspiracy theories, all this lunacy, that comment that I read you from a Telegram user, it's. And if you happen to have a family member who ends up, going through this rabbit hole and believing all these conspiracy theories, as we've said on the show previously, don't cut them out of your life. They need you, right? I'm not saying try to persuade them. That also does not yield the best results, but plant a seed, be close to them, be warm, be kind. I think that's the best strategy in trying to get them out of that rabbit hole, right? But cutting them off, I think, only makes the problem worse. Anyway, but going back to the fun part of the story, because the fun part does in fact exist. There's the Lin Wood versus Marjorie Taylor Greene angle of this, which is awesome. So Marjorie Taylor Greene apparently didn't defend Lin Wood after Rittenhouse had made these accusations. And so Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted this: "I told everyone what a terrible person Lin Wood is. Did you?" And if you watched Tucker Carlson tonight, you heard Kyle Rittenhouse. One of the reasons why I think so, Lin keeping Kyle in jail instead of bailing him out with all that money donated for Kyle is absolutely evil. So there you have it, Marjorie Taylor Greene with some hot takes on what she considers evil. And Lin Wood is apparently taking this all in stride, although he does seem a little panicky. He says, "Please know that while I'm not happy with those individuals and entities engaged in the most recent false accusations against me related to my efforts a year ago for Kyle Rittenhouse, I forgive them and I pray for them. They are influenced by the enemy and know not what they do." It's just, let them fight. Let them fight.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, it had a Gladiator vibe when you said, let them fight. So look, in order to get anyone to believe anything, especially anyone in a conspiracy theory world, all you have to say is the magic words: connect the dots. Okay, almost all of them say it at one point or another. That's when you know there are no dots and they have no logical way of connecting anything. So I would argue for the conspiracy theorists that you actually not only plant a seed of rationality, but you could reverse all of these so easily until they're so confused where they go, well, maybe reality is actually real, right? And so, because you could connect the dots in reverse, you could say, hey, he kept him in jail for 87 days so that he could raise more money. And then he took $2.7 million and put it in his own pocket. Connect the dots. And you see, that one's real. But when you say connect the dots, a conspiracy theorist might go, yeah, wait, actually there are dots there. I can't connect them, right? So just reverse the dots, and maybe that'll work.
Yep.
And I'll say one more thing, Anna, about that real quick. The Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world, when Lin Wood was saying all the lunatic things about the election was stolen stuff, they're like, that's right, that lunatic who calls himself a prophet and a messiah or whatever other insane things that he says, and they did the massive dumps are coming and the crackling is coming and stuff. That guy's totally right. Oh wait, he grifted money that we could have grifted? I always said he was terrible. Really? Because it doesn't seem that way.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.